Mercedes dropped bombshell on Hamilton after leaked documents. So we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Mercedes news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is Mercedes exposes how Hamilton intervened amid recent car upgrade dilemma. Lewis Hamilton suggested that George Russell should debut Mercedes' latest upgrade at the Monaco Grand Prix, given only one set was available, according to the team's trackside engineering director, Andrew Chauvelin. In addition to a circuit-specific high-downforce rear wing, Mercedes brought a new floor body and front wing to the streets of Monte Carlo, but the latter development was only sampled by Russell because just one set had been created. In Mercedes' post-Monaco Grand Prix debrief, Chauvelin explained the thinking behind the decision, with both drivers previously raising the idea of splitting updates to learn as much as possible about the W15. Though the situation did not arise until last time out in the Principality. Addressing why only Russell had the new parts, Chauvelin said, "We are looking to have race quantities of that wing in Montreal. And normally you would say race quantities is at least 3 because you have got 1 for each car, and then you have got a spare available should anything happen. We do not make 3 in one go. We make the first, then the second, then the third." An upshot of that was that we had 1 that we could bring to Monaco and have it ready for Friday to do the weekend. A while ago, the drivers asked why we always wait until we have got a full set. Why not just let one of us run it? We agreed with them that given the situation with the team in terms of performance, we need to improve, and we need to learn. It is quite good to have different specs on the car to do that. We did agree with the drivers that where we are now, we will be happy to bring one to the track, and they were both happy with that. The difficult question was, how do we decide who was going to run it? Lewis said, "If we are going to start doing this where we have not got enough parts, let George run it in Monaco. There will be races in the future where we have a single update, and of course we just alternate from here on in." But Lewis made that decision quite simple for us. As for how the latest upgrade performed, Chauvelin shared that while the early signs were promising, a full picture will be painted at the Canadian and Spanish Grand Prix, where the circuits are faster and more flowing. There's a reason teams do not normally bring update kits to Monaco, which is the very low-speed nature of the circuit, Chauvelin continued. The fact it is so busy, the short straights, it is very hard to actually evaluate anything. All the data we have seen, though, says that it was delivering performance. It was bringing a benefit in terms of how the car was feeling. George was happy with that, and he could feel that it was a step in the right direction. We are happy with what we have seen to date, but we will learn more in Montreal, and then particularly when you get to a track like Barcelona with a wider corner speed range, you can really start to learn about it there. Lewis Hamilton is set to receive significant upgrades at the upcoming Canadian Grand Prix, as confirmed by Toto Wolff, the Mercedes F1 team principal. Mercedes plans to equip both Hamilton and his teammate George Russell with an advanced front wing that made its debut on Russell's car at the Monaco Grand Prix. This upgrade, initially available to just one of the Mercedes cars due to limited availability and decided by a coin toss, opted Hamilton out at Monaco, carefully avoiding potential race complications from unexpected damages. In Monaco, George Russell finished 5th, testing the upgrade under race conditions. Although it was challenging to gauge the absolute effectiveness of the wing due to the circuit's notorious processional nature, its potential was noted. For the Canadian Grand Prix, both Hamilton and Russell will sport the updated component along with other developments aimed at boosting their performance. Toto Wolff expressed optimism about the new additions, noting the aerodynamic benefits observed during its prior deployment in a press release. Both drivers will have the updated front wing in Canada, plus some other development items for this event, Wolff stated. It offered a small lap time gain around the tight streets of the Principality and should offer a greater benefit on upcoming circuits. Currently, Mercedes holds 4th place in the constructors' standings, trailing the 3rd-place McLaren by 88 points. Despite these figures, Wolff remains hopeful about the ongoing development within the team. We had an encouraging weekend in Monaco. We continued to make solid progress with our car, improving its overall balance and taking a step closer to those ahead. That progress isn't yet showing in terms of positions, but if we can continue to close the gap to the fastest cars, we know it will in due course, he elaborated. The second story is new Mercedes front wing design tipped to bring significant lap time gain. Mercedes' new front wing has been tipped to provide the F1 team with a much-needed significant lap time gain at certain circuits. The German manufacturer introduced an updated front wing design at the Monaco Grand Prix, which did not feature the previous legality strip element as part of a change in development path, with Mercedes still battling to cure the W15's biggest weakness, its inconsistent performance in both high and low-speed corners. George Russell ran the updated design in Monaco after Lewis Hamilton proposed his teammate should use the only version of the front wing in Monaco. Both drivers are set to have the revised front wing at the next race in Canada. Analyzing the impact of the change, F1 expert Mark Hughes wrote on F1.com, "The new wing is entirely reprofiled and has been designed to give more consistent traits throughout the speed range of the car. There is expected to be less of a balance change through the speed range." Around Monaco, which is almost all low-speed corners, simulations suggested the new wing would bring a tiny gain. But around circuits, with a bigger spread of corner speeds, it is expected to bring significant lap time gain. Both cars should have the wing in time for the next race, in Montreal, but it's expected that Barcelona in 2 races' time will show the full benefit of the wing. It could be a step forward in helping to turn around what has been a challenging year so far for the Silver Arrows. Hamilton claimed that he lost 0.2 of a second to Russell in qualifying due to using the team's older front wing specification. The 7-time world champion qualified and finished 7th, 2 places behind Russell. According to Mercedes' head of trackside engineering, Andrew Shovlin, the update delivered the expected gains in Monaco. "All the data we have seen says that it was delivering performance. It was bringing a benefit," Shovlin explained in Mercedes' post-race debrief video. The third story is Russell shares why Mercedes are feeling very confident for 2026 power unit regulations. George Russell has expressed some early confidence from the Mercedes camp ahead of new power unit regulations being introduced in 2026, arguing that the team are in a really great place to capitalize. F1 will build on the current engine era by moving to power units that feature increased electrical power and use 100% sustainable fuels, alongside yet-to-be-confirmed aerodynamic changes. Given the team's success since turbo-hybrid power units arrived in 2014, which sparked a run of 8 consecutive constructors and 7 straight drivers' titles, and their pedigree elsewhere in the motorsport world, Russell sees plenty of reason for optimism. I mean, ordinarily, 2026 seems like a long time away, but in the world of Formula One, it's going to be here tomorrow, and the team are feeling really confident for this era, he said at the Monaco Grand Prix. "I think you know the experience the team have had, the success in 2014 with the new powertrain, and then obviously the time in Formula E, the work that was done with the hypercar. There are a lot of individuals within HPP who have got so much experience with this future technology. I think that leaves us in a really great place to have a great engine. And the work Petronas are doing on the fuel as well is looking really strong. So, on the engine side, I think we're feeling very confident for that era." As it stands, teams are waiting to receive the definitive version of the 2026 technical regulations from F1's governing body, the FIA, which will confirm the finer details of the sport's new car. However, while outfits up and down the grid have been laying the foundations on the power unit side for some time, any aerodynamic work is banned until the start of 2025. That means, regardless of early power unit progress, there is still a voyage of discovery ahead for Mercedes and their rivals, as recently outlined by the Silver Arrows technical director, James Allison. It is just around the corner. It's hard to look forward too intensely at the moment, because we have to wait and wait and wait to actually get the regulations, he said. Right now, most of the focus, in all honesty, is on the present and the next season. The main action in 2026 land is the power unit, and the areas in which that power unit interfaces with the chassis, the aerodynamic rules, and where all the lap time is from a chassis guy perspective that's still a bit of a voyage of discovery. Mercedes has reportedly made a significant offer to Red Bull Chief Technical Officer Adrian Newey, who is due to leave the Austrian team after the first quarter of 2025. His impending decision, expected to arrive imminently, could highly impact Mercedes's performance in the championship. According to a report from Sportskita, Mercedes has extended a high-profile offer to Adrian Newey, which includes shares in Mercedes.